Dale Sherm asking what would get Jim Harbaugh fired this year. What do you think, Kevin? What gets him fired?
I mean, 0-12. I mean, I don't see them making. If it's not Harbaugh, who is it? I mean, realistically, are they going to go out and get Matt Campbell from Iowa State? I mean, if you sit there and you bring in the guy who's supposed to be your Pied Piper and he can't get it done, I mean, we could sit there and say, well, if they go 3-9, I mean, they've got a lot of automatic wins already built into that schedule. Just what it is. But with that being said, I don't think they could have a bad enough season, barring something really crazy happening. I don't like whistling through the graveyard and saying, a scandal or anything like that, but it would take something pretty dramatic. And, honestly, if I'm an Ohio State fan, why would I want to see a change? Why would I be pushing for that? A lot of people were sitting there having, parties when Brady Hoke or one of those other guys got fired. I'm like, if you got them right where you want them, why would you let them have a chance to get off the mat? That doesn't make any sense.
I think it's a lot less likely that he'll ever be fired from that job. It's that eventually he'll get tired of it. And I think that somebody from the NFL will possibly, say, hey, come give us another shot or whatever. And he'll be looking for, quote, a new challenge, I think, probably within, 2 to 5 years. And that is more likely than he would ever be fired from that job, because they're going to continue to win 8 to 10 games every year. I don't envision a scenario where they fall off that poorly to where it becomes an embarrassment, and him as the coach. I mean, they win 5 or 6 games and, or aren't going to bowl games or those kind of things. So I don't know. To me, that are getting blown out by a MAC school or, whatever, kind of goofy result would result in somebody being fired on the spot. So, I think that they're going to continue to be relatively relevant, but not totally relevant, if that makes sense.
Or if something crazy happened, like they lost to App State, somebody like that.
Craziness.
You go back to when Michigan lost to Toledo in Rich Rod's first year. Tom Amstutz, the Toledo coach that year, beats Michigan and still gets fired after the year. Like, even beating Michigan back then wasn't enough to save your job. But I'm with Steve. Like, I don't know what it would take, because they're not going to go. I wouldn't assume they would go like 5-7, but I think he's gotten them as far as he can. Now, next year, they've got the 5-star quarterback kid, J.J. McCarthy, coming in. But we've seen the track record with Michigan quarterbacks for Jim Harbaugh is terrible. Well, it's not terrible. It's not as good as it should be. Not nearly as good as it should be. And the longer a quarterback is there, the worse they seem to get. Now, if you're talking about replacements, I saw Pep Hamilton did pretty good with the DC Defenders a couple of games in the XFL before that team tanked. Former Michigan assistant, he could walk right in there. He knows everybody. Pep Hamilton at Michigan. There you go. But really, anybody with energy would be better than Jim Harbaugh, because there's no energy with the program now, and it's stagnant water. And you need somebody to come in and stir it up, get it clarified, throw in some chlorine. I don't know. He's done everything he can, in my opinion, and really, there's no joy there in Ann Arbor.
Similar to our buddy Pinero Piru 5, who joins us on a regular basis with seemingly a great attitude, if I can derive anything from what he states there in the live chat.
Yeah, you feel bad for a guy like that.
To you all, reading your work, keep pushing, and I'll see you in Columbus. And then comes the Go Blue.